player ratings today. And we're going to start off with Antonin Kinsky. 7s all round for Kinsky. Another really assured display from him. I thought he commanded his box really well. It felt like anything that just came close to him, he just gobbled up for fun. Ball playing ability, it was a very different performance, wasn't it, than the one against Liverpool. I don't think his ball playing ability was on show too much, but what I really enjoyed about him was just how much he commanded his box and his handling.
Yeah, and that was really impressive on a day where it could have been awkward for him, especially if he wasn't confident and especially if he had any sort of hesitancy coming for those crosses. We saw their tactic was try and bully us in the middle, especially when you got people like Gray at the back who aerially, you fear for them that they could be bullied. I thought Kinsky just came for every corner, claimed it, and relieved the pressure off our defence every time. So really good stuff from Kinsky.
And made some good saves as well to keep it at 0-0 at times. Pedro Porro up next. Sim gives him a 3. I gave him a 5. I thought he came under increasing pressure on that right wing. They got in quite a few times down his side. But I did feel like, as the game progressed, he shored up that side and, he was quite solid defensively by the end of it. His passing was really erratic and poor, but I marked him up a bit for that quick free kick that set us on our way.
Yeah, fair play. It was a clever free kick routine for the first goal, and that needed that little bit of quick thinking to open them up. But I thought on the day just was really poor. I thought Enoru was really giving him trouble down that side, to be honest, for a lot of that game, and you shouldn't be having that much trouble against. I know he was quick, don't get me wrong, but you just shouldn't be having that much trouble against a non-league winger, in my opinion, the level Porro's at. And I thought on the ball, he was just a bit all over the place. I thought he gave the ball away 45 times. It's an incredible amount. That must be some sort of record. 45 times. I can't remember a player giving the ball away so much. And I don't know whether it was conditions he struggled with, or he's just panicking a lot of the time, or what it was, but I just thought on the ball it was really poor from Porro. So I gave him a 3.
Next up is Archie Gray. 6s all round for Archie. I thought from a defensive capability he did really well. But yeah, it was just frustrating me in the early stages of the game. The opening 20 minutes, he just kept passing the ball out of play when we were looking to build up a head of steam and play out the back. But look, I thought all in all, he was one of the better performers on the day, so 6.
Yeah, I think he did well. I think it was, again, still had that composure. He did play the ball out of play a few times, but I think by and large, one of our more consistent players on the day, one that kept a bit of a calm head, and I thought he defended really well, so gave him a 6.
Dragusin, Sim gives him a 4. I gave him a 6. I don't think he was that bad. I thought defensively he stood up to the challenge that what most came his way, apart from right at the end where he got sold down the river, really, with that drag from, I don't know who the Tamworth player was, but really did get the better of him. But yeah, Tamworth didn't really have too many chances, and I thought Radu kept them at bay.
What really annoyed me about Radu was in that second half, he kept committing these stupid fouls and allowing Tamworth to relieve the pressure constantly. And not only did it allow them to relieve the pressure, it just gave them opportunities to pump the ball into the box. And I just thought he was needless. I know they had a big lump up front, I think it was like Creasy or something like that. And he kept trying to pin Radu. But Radu, I know he's young, but this guy's a big guy. He should be able to deal with a non-league centre-forward more comfortably. And I thought he kind of just allowed them constantly to be relieving the pressure from this. I thought by and large he defended okay. It was just, and also on the ball he wasn't particularly great, but I just thought those moments were actually really crucial in the game and breaking up the play for Tamworth, and it worked in their favour. And I thought he should be a lot smarter than that, like he was.
Sergio Reguilon at left back, 6 all round for Sergio. I thought, again, kept up some sort of standards. I thought defensively he was pretty good on that side, and actually offensively as well. He had, 2 key passes on the day, and he created a big chance as well for Sergio Reguilon. So, look, definitely one. I'm happy that he played the whole 120 minutes, so we needed that to give some sort of I don't know who got the respite, but he needed to play, and maybe we're going to have to need him to use him as well in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I wasn't disappointed with Reguilon's display.
Yeah, standard display. Obviously, I thought he did better defensively than Porro. On the ball, I mean, didn't do too much on the ball. He got to the byline a bit, didn't really have any quality about it. I thought it was just a standard display. Didn't do too much wrong, but nothing exceptional. But just made sure that we were okay on that side and not giving away anything stupid. So gave him a 6.
Biss gets an 8 from Sim and a 7 from me. Very dominant display against Tamworth. I thought he was gobbling everything up in the middle, winning all his duels aerially and on the floor, and he was driving the team forward as well with some successful dribbles through the heart of the Tamworth midfield. So, yeah, Bissouma was probably our best player.
Yeah, and I thought he was the one who had that bit of confidence to show that he's a Premier League midfielder and he's going to dominate you, and that's exactly what he tried to do during the game. And I think it's exactly what he did, to be honest. And I thought he was confident on the ball, striding forward, breaking the lines, and I thought off the ball that whenever he went near him, he was gobbling it up, and I thought he was super confident. He won 15 of his 17 duels aerially and on the ground. So I think that goes to show how dominant he was. He did make 5 tackles. So look, he put in a lot of work. He put in a big shift. Also completed 6 of his 6 long passes as well. So on the ball, he was pretty good. 2 out of 2 dribbles. So I think on the day, a pretty good performance compared to a lot of his teammates.
Pape, Mattis, Sarr, we both give him a 4. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Pape at the moment. Just he's not in a rich vein of form. It seems to be a carbon copy displays week in, week out from him at the moment, where he's putting in a lot of energy, but on the ball, he seems to be losing it more times than not. And you really thought, you know, against a Tamworth midfield, he would really dominate it and potentially create chances for us as well, and it just didn't happen.
A bit of an anonymous display, to be honest. And against Tamworth, he shouldn't really be anonymous, but he seemed to find a way to do so. I thought off the ball he was okay, but I think on the ball, just again, a severe lack of quality. And after he started the season fairly poorly, he went on a run where it looked like he was really getting to his best, and now he's on a bit of a downturn. And maybe Bergvall's ahead of him at the moment. Maybe that's why Bergvall was on the bench and he started. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does on Wednesday. But yeah, it wasn't a great game from him, I thought.
James Maddison, 6 all round for Madders. I felt with Madders, you know, he was the only one in the first half looking to push the issue, looking to take shots, looking to be creative as well. And I thought he was the only spark that we had, particularly in the first half. Second half wasn't as strong as it was in the first. But yeah, he was aggressive in the middle of the park, winning his duels as well. So yeah, one of the only ones that can kind of say, I had a go.
Yeah, he definitely faded in that second half, for sure. So that was a bit disappointing. But I thought in the first half, for the first 50 minutes or so, he was the only one who had a real bit of quality and actually seemed a level above the opposition. And team every time
nutmegs
ball,
and all.
Yeah, taking shots, nutmegs, a little bit of creativity in the box. There's a little that chop he does in the box, and he probably should have scored that moment. He had a bit of one-on-one battle with Singh. I think he had 3 shots on target, which Singh was equal to at the end. But he was the one providing any real quality. But yeah, he faded badly in the second half and then got taken off, didn't he, on 70? So didn't really go to plan as it should have really for Maddison. Should have come up with something more.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson up next. Sim gives him a 4. I gave him a 6. And look, I thought Brennan, on a whole, his performance was really poor. I'm not going to lie. But I've marked him up a bit because the moments of quality that we did show in the game, the chances that were created and the goals that we scored, he seemed to be involved in it all with that lovely ball through the middle of the park to Timo Werner to play him one-on-one. That should have been 1-0 to Spurs. And then in extra time, he gets a goal with a lovely finish and had his hand in one of the other goals as well. So, yeah, look, poor performance, but showed moments of quality.
Yeah, I think when it comes to his 90-minute performance, apart from that one pass to Werner, which was a great ball, fair play, you know, you're looking at a 2 or something. So I was really frustrated with him in that 90-minute performance. He did obviously up his game in the extra time and with the extra fitness, and we've obviously got a brilliant goal, and he did set up the opening goal as well with some quick thinking from Porro. So we get a few marks for that, for his extra time performance, but I ended up on a 4 because I just thought over the 90-minute display, he was just so bad, and he just wasn't able to get any spare change out of their left back, and that's just not good enough. And I thought really struggled on the ball to kind of take him on. How can you have no confidence to take on your fullback when you're playing a non-league side? It just baffles me. So ended up giving him a 4.
Mikey Moore up next. 6 all round for Mikey. I felt like he took a while to get into the game. You know, no football in a long time for Mikey, so it's kind of expected. But you know, once the second half came, he was the one that really was pushing the issue out on that left-hand side. He was taking on his man. He provided a brilliant cross to the back stick for Timo Werner. And it was about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then he kind of tied out in the game.
Yeah, and you know, even Mikey Moore had confidence to take on his fullback, which I thought Brennan didn't. He definitely looked a bit rusty at the start, but I think once he got into the game, there was a moment in the second half. I know he was only on for 15 minutes, but there was a moment where every time he got the ball, he was creating something and making something happen. He got that brilliant ball to Werner on the far side who had a clear off the line, but was a brilliant cross. I think it was outside of the boot cross as well from Mikey Moore. And he was just once he beat his man once, he just had that. You saw that confidence flowing through him, where he was just going at them again and again, and they really struggled to handle him. And unfortunately, kind of I know it was pre-planned to take him off at that kind of time, but unfortunately, it was at his best moment in the game. They took him off when he was really getting into full flight. So that's a shame for him. But I thought he had a really strong showing for those 15 minutes, and that moment that could have taken it away from Tamworth, but unfortunately he had to come off.
Yeah, let's hope he gets some minutes at the Emirates, because with that kind of minutes in his legs, and with the amount of football that he's had over the past month or so, maybe he can come chomping at the bit at the Emirates, maybe off the bench. Timo Werner started up front, quite surprisingly to all of us. Sim gives him a 2, I gave him a 3. Just not at the races, Timo. Every time he got the ball, his control was completely off it, got outshone by the Tamworth players. Goes one-on-one with a brilliant ball from Brennan Johnson and completely fluffed his lines, and was a poor finish. The only bit of quality that we saw from Timo Werner was the header at the back stick, where it was actually a really good header and it was saved off the line.
Yeah, I feel for him in that moment, because that was a good finish, and unfortunately it did get cleared off the line. But other than that, his job was to get on the end of things, and unfortunately his finishing just wasn't up to scratch, as it usually has been for Timo Werner. And in general play, he just offers so little, and I thought again he offered very little in this game. Just again a lack of quality in that final third, and I know it wasn't a game for Timo Werner in terms of tactically, but still, you're a German international, you're playing against part-time footballers. Like, you should be able to get some sort of advantage against them and show some sort of quality, and he just wasn't able to do it at all. His confidence is at an all-time low. Obviously the header was a good finish, but the one we went through one-on-one, no composure whatsoever, and obviously the keeper saved it. Those were the only 2 moments he really had. Once he moved to the left wing, didn't really provide anything on the left wing in terms of chance creation. Just poor from Timo.
Lucas Bergvall, who came on with about 25 minutes to go. Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 7. I thought he added quality. I thought he added energy. He came on and suddenly we started having a few more shots, albeit none of quality, but he was having shots and having a go. But I just think he adds an extra positive energy to the team.
Yeah, definitely quickened up our play, added a bit more sharpness and crispness to it, and added that bit of energy that we needed at the time. We seem to be flagging. I do wonder whether if he was out the first team in this out the starting 11, I should say, because he was resting him for the North London derby. It'll be very interesting to see, because look, if he can compete against Newcastle midfield and Liverpool's midfield like he has done the last 2 games, why can't he against Arsenal's midfield? So it'll be very interesting to see what Ange does come Wednesday with him, and it's a very exciting prospect. I thought another good cameo. I think ever since he came on, I think, was it even before the Southampton game, I think it was the Rangers game, he came off the bench. Ever since that game, I'll tell you when it was the Bournemouth game. He came off the bench against Bournemouth when we were really struggling, and added a bit of composure and calmness. Ever since then, every performance has been really good from him. So he's going from strength to strength. Yeah,
he's flying at the moment, Lucas Bergvall, and he has to start at the Emirates. He just has to. Dom Solanke as well came on at the same time. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 4. It was just a really uncharacteristic performance from Solanke. I thought he got dominated. He just couldn't get into the game. His touch was all off. I don't know what was going on with Solanke, but he struggled in this one.
Yeah, it was really odd. I thought the ball was bouncing off him too much. I don't know whether he was struggling with the conditions, but I don't think the service helped him. I thought a lot of the passes into him was really poor, and I thought he was struggling to get the ball under control a lot of the time. Obviously, he did kind of force the ball over the line a bit with the own goal. His presence obviously made the Tamworth defender panic. But I think by and large, whenever he was competing with the centre-backs of Tamworth, he was coming out second best, which was really, really odd. So wasn't a great cameo from him.
Son Heung-min, Sim gives him a 6, I gave him a 7, came on for extra time. Such a shame we had to use him, because he could do with the rest probably more than anyone. And look, I did think he added quality. He added a lot more than what Werner was showing out on that left-hand side after Solanke came on. He got an assist with a lovely pass to Dejan Kulusevski, and I just felt he added, again, a bit like Lucas Bergvall, just an extra energy out on that left-hand side, and I felt the Tamworth players found it really hard to deal with him.
Yeah, definitely added quality. Got a nice assist for Decky. And not too much else to say about it. I think obviously they were tiring by the time he came on, so it was a bit easier for him to kind of move them around and beat players and create opportunities and openings. I think he'll be even disappointed that he maybe didn't do more than just get 1 assist once he came off the bench. But I thought it was a good cameo from Sonny and helped see out the game.
Dejan Kulusevski, 7th all round for Decky. He came on again, a bit like what you say for Bergvall. I thought he came on and really started to quicken the play up and play a bit faster. And yeah, like they just couldn't handle Decky with the physicality that he was showing with the tiring legs that they had. Gets a goal with a brilliant finish and gets assist as well. So once again, Decky saves our blushes.
Yeah, needed that little bit of quality, and you saw the quality really increase once he came on. Lovely finish with the ball across the face of goal into the side netting, and that little assist, just winning the ball high up the pitch, nicking it on the edge of the box, and Brennan finishing it confidently. So nice bit of nice cameo from Decky, goal and assist, and easy as you like. He made it seem easy when he came on. Yeah,
he did. And last but not least, in terms of the playing personnel, was Jed Spence. We're not going to rate Jed Spence. All right, we're not rating Jed Spence. We're going to go straight into Ange.
He did all right, Spence. We can talk about him. He did fine. I think he
involved in one of the goals.
Was he? Which goal was that? Was that
the third goal, wasn't it?
I thought actually he did quite well coming off for Dragusin. I hope that Dragusin's not injured or anything, but we did see him kind of hurt his ankle, didn't he?
Well, he was strapped up before the game, wasn't he?
Strapped up before the game, and then he kind of got someone fell on his ankle during the game, and he seemed to be uncomfortable. So let's hope it's not an injury or anything for him. But not the first time he's gone off in recent weeks. Obviously, Jed Spence came on, I thought did really well at centre-back and was a bit more confident, and just he almost was like a full-back at times, the way he was flying forward. So
yeah.
Seemed to forget he was a centre-back at times. But yeah, good cameo from him.
Ange Postecoglou, 6s all round for Big Ange. Went relatively strong in this game, which was much to all of our surprise. And we struggled. We struggled for 90 minutes. He did make changes to impact the game, which I don't think takes a master tactician to do against a tiring Tamworth legs. But you can only beat what's put in front of you, and we struggled to do that for 90 minutes. But we got there in the end. We got the 3-0 win. He doesn't cover himself in much glory, but we got there.
Yeah, I think I don't think it was a brilliant managerial performance. I think he managed the game fine. He made subs when we needed them. I think big mistake not starting Lancashire. In my opinion, should have given him a start in this one. Bit perplexing why we didn't get Yamin Chuk in the squad at all, but I'm not going to mark him down for it if he doesn't feel like he's ready, and maybe the 3G pitch, he didn't want him to play on it, but would have liked to have seen him considering he was on the bench against Liverpool. Obviously, the changes did make all the difference, and we won the game, but shouldn't have been that close in the first point. But look, in terms of the strength of the team, you can't blame him. Like, he went stronger than most of us could have thought he would, and that's because he maybe feared the prospect ahead, and so it turned out because it was a lot harder than it should have been.
Yeah, but it's also up to him to get his players up for these kind of games, and he failed to do that.
Yeah, and he takes responsibility for it. At the end of the day, we did win 3-0. We didn't lose. We won the game. But
we had to go extra time.
But we did have to go extra time, but it was still 3-0. And that was the result. That's what the records will show. And I did think in extra time was very comfortable. So that's that. But obviously it wasn't a good performance at all. It should never have gone to extra time. And that's really disappointing. But we are in the next round. We did win the game comfortably in the end. So is what it is. No one's going to remember it if we go far in this tournament. That's what we've got to do.
That was probably the least comfortable 3-0 win I've ever had to endure.
Yeah, probably.
Seriously. So, wasn't exactly a comfortable 3-0 win, but we did win it 3-0. But that is our player ratings for the Tamworth game. Let's move on and see how the internet did react to the game.